Welcome to PDSX Training Inventory Management. Let's go ahead and jump right in. To get to the Inventory Management page, you can select Inventory from the Layout pull-down, or under Templates, you can go to a template and then select the Managed Inventory button. Either of those will take you to the Managed Inventory page. On the page, you can see we have three tables. We have our Managed Inventory, we have our order history table, and a use history table, and those are linked together. To go ahead and add in a new managed inventory item, you can use new record, start typing the company name, I do Bart Slingshot Camp, and then use the tab key to get to the next field. For stock ID, I'm going to go ahead and put in a stock ID number, use the tab key, go to stock name. Stock name, I'm going to go ahead and put in training certificate, linen stock. Use the tab key, and the next field it goes to is our safety stock. The safety stock is the minimum stock you never want to go below. So for that, I'm going to go ahead and use 300. The next field is lead time, and this is, of course, the amount of time it takes to get the product in. So I'm going to go ahead and say that this product normally takes 5 days. Average daily use for this, we on average use about 300 per month. I'm going to go ahead and say 10 per day. Max stock is the maximum amount of stock that we want to have in-house at any given time. We just don't have space to carry everything, so I'm going to go ahead and put 1,000 in for that. And you can see it's figured out some of the remaining values already. It's showing us our reorder point at 350. And the reorder point is basically our safety stock plus the consumption during lead time, which is the lead time multiplied by average daily use. You can see our reorder point presently, since we have no stock in, is set at 1,050, and that's because it would be our max stock plus the amount of lead time it takes to get the product, so plus that 50. And you'll see later when we do order stock that it will be a difference of the max stock and the actual stock in inventory. And presently, since we don't have any, that's why it's displaying that way. We'll scroll to the left here, and you can see the next field is location. We'll say aisle 7, stack B. The owner, cost, and sell price are for managing internal costs. I'm going to go ahead and say that this is a customer stock. And since it's customer stock, there is no cost or sell price associated with it. It's just going to be fulfilled. So now we've got a line item. Now we can go ahead and input some current stock. So to start it out, I'm going to go ahead and, under my use history, I'm going to add in a blank line here. Normally these will be added in automatically, but for the very first one, we're going to say product received that we started out with 800 sheets, and the usage is going to be received. And then the note I'm going to say starting stock. And now you can see our current stock is 800, and our reorder quantity has changed to 250. And of course that'll go down once we get underneath our reorder point. So that's how you add in a line item and add the starting stock. To dive into it a little bit deeper, I'm going to go ahead and jump to one where we've already got a history, so you can see how it populates when we reorder from something that's already been set in. Ordering for the first time is just going to basically be filling in the information from scratch. So rather than go through the tedium of filling out a work order and a purchase order for that, let's just go ahead and start right off with an active one that's being used presently, since this is going to be a more common case scenario. So here, this Form 32 packet form, there's 3,100 in stock. You can see we've got order history, previous orders that have been filled, and we've got a use history showing the different times that the product's been pulled for use. So let's go to a work order page, and we'll create a new work order to put them into. I'm just going to run through this real fast and key it in. Set my company, put it as a test. Say let's do today at 4 p.m. I'm going to deliver it to Lisa Simpson. All right. So let's go ahead and select the template that we want to use for this work order. We'll go to the template, select Summer Marble Book, and here's our marble book. Now the cover on this is going to be that one of those stocks that we want to use. So let's go ahead and set it to be the Form 32 packet form, the first one in the list there. And you can see it shows the quantity in stock, 3,100. If I needed to get rid of that, you can use the minus button and it removes that stock from being used. I'm going to go ahead and set it again. So now when I copy it down, it's going to go ahead and decrement that from the quantity in stock. So in order to get it below so we can see a reorder ping, first I'm going to go ahead and set it just above that number. So we'll say they need 3,200 of those, and we'll go to copy it down, and you can see the current order request exceeds current stock availability. You'll need to check the quantity ordered and change the request. Stock request was 3,200, stock and inventory is 3,100. Won't let us do it. So we'll lower our request. We'll do 3,000, which should put us, actually let's do 2,900 just so it's a little bit better. So it should put us in range of our reorder point. We'll go ahead and select that. And it lets us know the current order request has put the stock below the reorder point. You will need to reorder this inventory item. Stock requested was 2,900. Our stock and inventory is 3,100. The reorder point is 200. So we'll say OK to that. It's going to go ahead and copy that down to the work order, and it also preloads an email letting us know that we need to reorder that stock. So we can go ahead and just hit send on that. I'm just going to close that email out, but you can see it shows and tells you all about it. So now you can see on the work order it's added that that template in, and it's got a managed inventory for the front. It's in nice bright colors so we can tell that it's special. And it's waiting for us to continue on the script here, so I'll hit continue. Okay, so you can see our current stock is 200 and that we need to order this stock. You can also see that under use history, the 2,900 was withdrawn, and the date, timestamp, and the work order that's associated with that withdrawal. So now in order to reorder, all we need to do is use the reorder inventory button. Let me explain a little bit before we do that what's going to happen. You can see here with the last time that the order was placed, there's a work order ID and a PO number that's referenced. The purchase order would have been a purchase order for the outsourced vendor to produce the job. The work order would have been a work order that was required in order to bill the customer for the cost plus markup that we need to pay to the outsourced vendor. So to be able to duplicate those saves us a lot of time filling out those work orders and the PO from scratch. So that's what we're looking to do here. So I'm going to go ahead and use that reorder inventory button, and you'll see it happen. We'll need to make some adjustments to the work order and the PO, of course, because last time it was 3,000 was ordered. This time the reorder quantity is going to be 2,900. So we'll just need to adjust those numbers. But let's go ahead and do that. Say reorder, and it's letting us know, place an order for this inventory item. Current stock is 200, the reorder point is 200, and the reorder quantity is 2,900. I'm going to say OK. It says the last time this was ordered, there was a work order and a purchase order referenced. Do you want to duplicate those to use for this order? And I'm going to say yes. It's going to go ahead and start the duplication process, and this will duplicate existing work order to a new work order under the same company. And that's exactly what I want. I'm going to go ahead and say OK. And it's just reviewing some information of when you normally duplicate a work order. So I'm just going to click OK. The next part is there's a purchase order attached. We want to duplicate that, yes. And now it's on the PO, and it's letting us know to be sure to enter the PO creator, as well. Also, you need to be sure to enter the work order creator for the new work order. Great, OK. So work order creator is me. That's set. You can see the status on the PO is open. I need to change the quantity being requested from 3,000 to 2,900. We would also need to adjust the vendor cost. And we'll just say that one, is 190 to produce this time. And we'll adjust our markup margin. I was using 0.23 before, so we'll set that. It adjusts. So our service charge to the client is going to be $233.70. And I could either copy it or I can go to the work order and modify it manually. I'm just going to go to the work order and modify it manually. So 233.70 is the number we need. Continue, it takes us to the work order. Make sure that the work order creator is me. Change the value here to be 2,900. And the value up here so that our work order reads correctly, 2,900. And then the price override was 233.70. So the work order is now complete, except for we need to set up times for the purchase order. So select back purchase order, date sent to vendor. We'll say it was today. They're supposed to have it later on today, and it's going to be in their will call department. All right, let's go back to our work order and set our shipping to pick up. So we'll say we're going to do a pickup, outsource pickup today at 4 p.m. PDS delivery, outsource is going to be Folder Express. So now it's scheduled for the driver to go pick up. And we could print or email our PO and print out our work order and so on and so forth, and everything would be in motion. Go ahead and hit the continue button, and it takes us back to our inventory page and now shows that the order has been put in for 2,900. Shows us our stock level when that was done. We could put our date expected. Our date expected is going to be today's date. It references the work order and the PO that we just created. And our current stock is still 200. So now we're waiting on that stock to come in. All right, so 4 o'clock comes around. We send the delivery driver out to pick up the stock. He brings it back. He comes back and we realize he's only got 500. He doesn't have the full 2,900. That's fine. We can go ahead and we can start receiving the stock now by selecting close. It lets us know, has this order been filled or is it a partial? I'm going to say that it's a partial. We'll say we received 500 of the product. The date the partial was received, it was 4/10/2012. And now you can see our current stock is reflecting 700, and we've still got 2,400 on order, and it's partially received. As well, it's updated our order history here, and the date received is in orange, letting us know that we've only received a partial on it. And our PO status has been changed to partial as well. So if we went to our PO, you can see it's also set for partially received. So later in the evening, the vendor finishes up the last of them. We send the delivery driver over, he picks them up, comes back. Now we can finish receiving the rest of the product. So we'll go ahead and select to close the order. Has the order been filled or is it a partial? At this point, it's now filled. We're going to close the order out. That marks that the quantity received is the same as was ordered. And it sets the filled date as today's date. As well, it marks the PO as filled. It adjusts our current stock to reflect the new stock. So we had our original 500 received, and that's the work order and PO it was associated with, as well as the 2,400 that we received later. So everything is in concert. And that is how to receive the product. So you can see it's marked that PO status is filled now. The last piece is reporting on all of our managed inventory. You can, for many of the items, select and look at the order history in detail, and you can see from this Form 32 the partial received history as well in that view. You can also go to the use history and see the history of usage. And we can also generate the reports, which include all of that information. So the use report, and if we go to preview that, you can see it lists each individual stock as well as all of the use history for each of those stocks. And then we could also go to the use audit report. And if we go to the use audit report, if we preview here, you can see it shows the inventory name, the current stock that's expected to be on hand, the location of the stock, as well provides a spot to write down the count as you manually audit each of the stocks. And that concludes our inventory management training for PDSX. My name is Zandon Forget. Thank you for listening.